Hey guys, alright, so just spent like the past day and some time today and even just a few minutes ago trying to do videos on my cell phone. I was going to try to do like a daily vlog deal where basically I can just use my cell phone to do a quick 10-minute video of things that I'm doing and then just upload it from the phone. And I had it all working. It took a while to figure it out, but I got it working, and then I just saw the video where I was covering some of the stuff in the car, and then it just crapped out on me. So I went back and got my trusty little Kodak camera, which has always done pretty good and has been through a lot. But yeah, so I guess what I was talking about in that video was the fact that I was trying to do a more daily vlog kind of deal where I could just do something every day and talk about it, whether it's the car or something or whatever's on my mind about the car or whatever. I don't even know. I just kind of wanted to try it out, and I was all excited that I had the video working and uploading correctly, but my phone now is not acting right. So I guess if I lowered the quality, maybe that would make it go better, because it seemed to crap out at about 8 minutes. So I was hoping to get at least 10 without it crashing. So I don't know, kind of weird. So I might give that another shot later. But anyway, so what I was talking about was the Hinge. So yeah, the last video I was talking about doing this whole Hinge setup and all that, and have this bar that I already made and everything, and now I'm killing the whole idea and stopping that little project. Main reason being that all the brackets eventually are going to be in the way of other stuff that I need to do, and I was going to have to cut them out anyway, especially the center brackets, because this whole center scoop or section of the top is going to need to get cut out and reworked and stuff like that. I mean, not really cut out, but I'm not really sure. I still have some ideas for that hopefully can save me some time. So God, goodness, so what I was going to do was basically build a little lip out of probably the same brackets, and then have little holes in them, and then I was going to put pins at the edge of the top to make sure it aligns and holds in place, and then I was just going to take the whole top off manually every time and just do it that way. Simple. I don't really need the hinges. I already mocked it up and built a little hinge setup, and this is kind of a template that I use. It's an oversized version, but and so I know it's going to work. I initially had the hinge pivoting on the outside, and it was coming really close to hitting at the center point here at the center of the car, but this whole little piece is not really going to be here. It's going to dip down a little, so it wasn't really a huge concern, but I realized then I could move the hinge to the center of the car, more like how some of the older Corvettes have done it, and I think maybe Camaros, I don't know, but excuse me. So yeah, so after doing that and testing it, I just used a piece of coat hanger, and God, about to cough and hack all over the car here in a second. So I used this coat hanger, and this is, if you can use your imagination, this would be like the top where it bonds to the top, and then it pivots up, and you can see how much room I have to pivot that. And so if that's where the hinge is going to be, and this is the top, this is where the edge meets the car, and then it has enough space to get my finger under, and then if I let it hit the car, it's almost vertical. It's pretty crazy. So, and if it was vertical, I wouldn't even be able to really reach the top of the deal. So it's a little excessive, and so I know it's going to work. And now I've actually figured out a different style of hinge that I want to use anyway, which none of that matters, so I'll just revisit that later and just build the top so that I can just take it on and off easy, because I still have a lot to do with cut this out, build the edging and lips for weather stripping and stuff like that, and all that. So, but yeah, so that's basically it. And someone asked me why it sounds like I'm always tired in my videos, or breathing hard, like I just ran a marathon. And that's usually because I just took the top off, which isn't light, or I just cleaned up using the vacuum cleaner, and or I just got there sanding, and so I'm always out of breath when I end up doing these videos. Plus, it's like right now it's I don't know, it's like 1:30 in the morning, and it's late, and so my voice just has that like I need to go to sleep sound, which I do. So yeah, so if I don't know if you guys are following on Facebook, but I have a dude who's done some awesome work with rendering of the interior ideas and concepts and things like that. So I got Mr. Danny Chang, is that how you spell it? Chang. It's weird. It's a little different on the Facebook site. So he's done some cool renderings, and amazingly, the stuff that he drew from just one little, I don't know, paragraph of me giving him an idea of what I was going for, he drew exactly what I had, you know, somewhat envisioned, and really, I mean, mainly by this. You can see there's bars that go through, and they're visible. So these are the main support bars that go through the dash, and just about every car has them, and it's usually a round or it's a square or some kind of crazy shaped bar that goes through the standard dash of most cars. And I wanted a double bar, and then basically each one of these gauge clusters or console clusters would mount to those bars, and maybe even allow some adjustability sideways. I don't know, that's a possibility, but I don't have to go that far. But it was just an idea. I thought it was cool to be able to see the, you know, because you're going to be able to see a roll cage in this car anyway, and I thought it, you know, look kind of cool to see that if you look through the windshield, and you could see the roll cage continuing throughout the dash and through the rest of the car, and it gives it that real race car-y feel, while going with a kind of a modern / retro dash interior. So that's what we're trying to figure out now. You can follow it on, like I said, on the Facebook page. We're kind of talking about which ones we liked. I went through and numbered some of these, and I like number 4 the best. I like 3 and 4, but the gauge cluster, I can't zoom in on that, is a little, I think, too modern, and would be really difficult to try to make. I'd have to just contact China, order 500, and have them, you know, make some, which would be great later in the future. But for now, something like this is a little bit more realistic. Still may not be able to use like as fancy of a gauge setup that he has here, but replace the gauge cluster with some retro, you know, autometer style, mechanical, you know, styled gauges, maybe with something more of a billet bezel that's around them or something like that. Then we have the center console that has a, I think I actually have a macro here. Yeah, cool. So we have a center console that that would house like an Android device. I don't really want to do iPhone because you have to pay them for everything, but I'd rather do Android. So it's open source, and we could create some engine. What am I trying to say? Yeah. So engine management stuff on the Android. So that's kind of the plan that I want for this. Is basically you can adjust engine functions, timing, and look at all your readouts and diagnostics and things like that through the center console, while you still have all your mechanical gauges over here. And then the center console is really nice. I like how it curves, which is pretty much how it's going to have to be. And then over here it's nice and sleek and compact. So the only issue I really see is just the AC unit itself is really large. It's going to have to go back behind all of that, and to keep it hidden or to cover it with something is going to be a real trick. So we'll have to figure that out later. but I think it can be done with some, I don't know, some interesting techniques. But anyway, but yeah, check out Facebook. Give some comments on this, or go to his website. I'll post some links in the bottom of this video, and you can check out his work. Comment to him or to me or whatever, and we'll see where this ends up. And then I was going to do a short video, but I think I'm going to do a long video. So then I have some industrial modeling clay, and I have some more somewhere. Yeah, so anyway, alright, so I have a few pieces out there I was experimenting with, and I have the CM70, which seems to be the what a lot of people are using, and then I have this stuff here, which is kind of the, I don't really know which one people are actually using the most, but it really seems like a lot of people are referring CM70 or this other type 350 or 370, which is the same, but it's what's called de-aired, and meaning that it's been compressed so much that all the air has been taken out of it. It's been run through a special machine, and it's even more dense and even harder than this, which this is supposed to be the hardest styling clay that they have. But then doing some more research, this type here, which is by the same company, by Chavant, I guess that's how you say that, Chavant something, and this seems to be a whole lot harder. And the nice thing about this clay, which is called Y2 clay, spelled with a K, is it's so like 1999. But yeah, so this stuff here is really nice. I think it's already de-aired. It's like 50% or more lighter than this. Like this block weighs 2 pounds exactly. You can see it says 2 pounds. This thing, which is larger by quite a bit, it only weighs 1.75 pounds, and that's a huge difference. So a lot of people in some of the places that I've researched have recommended using this on things that have to hang upside down, or are affected by, you know, just gravity, and you don't want it to sag or distort or anything like that. And this seems a lot harder. I mean, this is hard. I can't even break it with my hand. Like I can't put any force on it and bend it or anything. I mean, it's crazy. So I think I'm going to be ordering a lot more of this, because I can get it for the same price as I could get this stuff. The shipping is cheaper because it's a lot lighter, and I get about 50 to 60% more clay, or maybe at least 50%. I'd say a good 50%. I mean, this is a square block, but if they're almost the same, I mean, I think they are the same height, and it's a little longer than half the size of that. So I don't know, it's close to 50 or so % larger, or more quantity, for the same price. Just makes sense to get this, and it's harder, so it holds an edge real nice when you need to sculpt it. It's not gonna sag, and I don't know, it just seems like the better way to go. But I'm gonna experiment with both and see, or maybe some secret that comes out with using this one that I don't know of. You know, a lot of people, I say a lot of people, but the little information that I find on the web and anywhere else, or people that I talk to, or the little group of people that contact me that have actually experience in doing industrial design with clay, you know, tell me different things. Like the CM70 has good bonding, so that's something important to look for. Is when you cut a piece off and you work it, you have to stick it onto itself, whether it has good sticking power, or whether it holds tape for using to mark lines that you need to follow, and edging on your project. So so there's a lot of little detailed things like that I haven't really, you know, figured out yet, and I'm sure I'll get into it at some point. And then some people, this is the other clay, and I can't even touch it. It's just oozed out. I mean, it's just nasty. So this is like the kind of clay you get at at Hobby Lobby and your typical hardware store, but you can see I'm just rubbing my hand, it's just grease coming off. So the difference is, I guess I should tell everybody all the little differences here, is this is an oil-based clay, and it messes your hands, it smells funky, it takes like a day for it to come off your hands. It stays soft the whole time, so I can press down on it and you can see, I don't know if you can or not, but I just dented it. I couldn't even possibly do that with this or this one. Either one of these are super hard. So this is just, it's not really good to work with. Also the fact that this type of clay reacts to other materials really badly, so if you want to paint it or want to cover it or want to add some type of other detail on it, you're not going to get it to stick or anything with that because of the oil. These two don't have oil, and this one I believe has sulfur in it, and this one is sulfur free. So this one smells like dog crap. I mean not really, but it smells pretty strong. It's pretty rough. And your hands kind of smell like sulfur, you know, so it's just weird. And it doesn't have a greasy feel in it or anything like that. It's pretty good to work with, it seems like. And this type, one of the things that they boast about this on the site is that it's odorless, it's sulfur free, it doesn't have any oil, I think it's de-aired maybe. It's harder, it's a little darker, and it's lighter, and it costs the same. So a lot of benefits to that. So I guess I'm going to be ordering a lot of that. But so those are kind of the main differences that you see with the clays. If you want to, anyone out there want to experiment with them, to give you an idea, this is like about $2 or $1, one and a half. I don't know. It's like, I think it was $1.99 or something for a block. This block, a little more than twice or 3 times the size of this block, I guess. Oh, that's a 1 pound block, so golly, that's a 1 pound block. This is a 2 pound block. This block is $16, roughly. It depends. I mean, I've seen them go for as high as $20-something for one block, and about the same for this, and sometimes even more for that, because that's supposed to be newer and better and all that. So the company I'm getting it from seems to have it where I can get it for about I think down to 12 if I order a big quantity. So that's what I'm going to do next. But we'll see. So yeah, so now I've talked for 18 minutes or so. Yeah, and so that's kind of the basics on the block. I may do like a little carving of one of these interior designs over there and play with it just to feel it out. I don't know, we'll see. Oh, and another thing, God, there's so many little things with this type of clay. Like this, you notice I can work with my hands, it's soft enough. This is like hard as stone. You have to heat it, and so you have to use like a heat gun to heat little small portions of it. A lot of people use ovens, like little tiny ovens that you stick it in to keep it warm to about 135 or so degrees, 125 in that range, and that'll allow you to work it real easy, and it becomes real soft like this, and then it gets hard as a rock again. Then I found a nice little trick from someone that used like little hot plates that you put your coffee on, and since this is a smaller project than say a big industrial GM design facility or something, I'm going to be working with just little chunks of this at a time. And what they do is they just cut off a chunk and then they stick it on one of those little coffee deals, and that keeps it around 100 or so, 115 degrees or so where it just stays warm. It doesn't melt or run off of it or anything like that, but it just keeps it warm. You just pick it up, tear off a piece, and then start throwing it on your project. So I may get a couple of those, or a real big hot thing, maybe I'll get like a George Foreman grill and stick it on that. So okay, I think we're at 20 minutes now. This video should be long enough, and I think I covered a little bit of everything. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.